I mean, it is get ready to have your um get ready to be shocked. I mean, I can't underplay this. I mean, a friend of mine, who's a trader, he's called Glenn White. You've probably seen him doing a lot of work with Google. I mean, he's very well highly regarded, a great guy, and knows his stuff. And he told me about this feature on Notebook LM, and I'm going to show it you shortly. So yeah, if you give me a second, I'll get that loaded up, and we'll go through that. So give me 1 second, and we'll do that. Just stop sharing for a second. Okay, so as I mentioned, guys, I've got that loaded up. I've logged into it, and I'm going to show you Notebook LM now. So I'm just going to go back into screen share. Right, okay. So Notebook LM, this is one of the features I wanted to show you about. So this is now a live demo for Notebook LM. The first thing you can do, make sure you're logged into your Google and into your Gmail or your Chrome, Google Chrome if you like. Type in Notebook LM and click the first organic result. You will then be given this page. You'll then click on Try Notebook LM. Click on that. You'll then get logged in and you just press Create Your Notebook. And then once you press Create Notebook, it takes you to this. So basically, I'll just have a quick talk you through this. So the first thing it's asking me is search the web for news sources. So what you would do is you would maybe type in something that you're interested in, or you would type in a prompt about a particular subject that you want to find out about, and basically ask for information. So I would probably say give it a bit of thought, have a think about it, and then write it in. So once you've done that, you can also then say, use these files, use these websites or YouTube, take upload this from Google Drive. And sometimes, like if you've got a subscription to a magazine or something and you want to copy and paste something from it, you can copy and paste it. Obviously, if you told it to find the website, it wouldn't be able to log in because obviously you've not got, it doesn't have the access to it. So that's why you would need the copied text bit. So here, so for example, you guys know I'm into behavioral science, so I like that. So let's ask you a question. So how important is the idea of behavior, behavioral, I always get the spelling wrong, economics, stroke science? to marketing. I think one of the godfathers of this was a guy called Nassim Taleb to marketing. So I like the way others also talk about it. So to marketing. I want to use innovations, innovations from the likes of Nassim Taleb. Taleb, but told in the way of someone like Rory Sutherland. I'll come back and correct that. So yeah, Rory Sutherland is someone that I like. I like the way he talks about things. When I've read the books about this subject, Taleb appears quite highly. It looks like he's one of these godfathers of the subject. You've got other people who are involved in things like Daniel Kahneman, um, yeah, Nassim Taleb, Daniel Kahneman, um, Richard Thaler, Cass Sunstein. There's quite a few of them, but in particular, I just like how Nassim Taleb's innovation, and we'll cross that with. Um, I'll say the likes of Nassim Taleb, so at least then it gives you a bit of an option. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to say to it to look at a particular video or anything like that, because I like the way some of Rory Sutherland's videos on YouTube work. But let's Notebook LM work it out. So anyway, so we've so the question being, how important is the idea of behavioral economics science to marketing? I want to use innovations from the likes of Nassim Taleb, but told in the word style, yeah, style of someone like Rory Sutherland. So, like I said, I've not been too, like I said, not been too vague, but not been over the top forensic about it. So now what we're going to do is watch the magic. As I mentioned, I could say there's a really good video of Rory Sutherland use that, or there's a few files, but I just wanted to just use it with its. I just want to do it as it is because it's very impressive. So what it does now is searching through websites, but it's looking for sources, i.e. documents. So what it will do, so you can see here on the left-hand side, is giving the different sources. So click and add sources from above to add PDFs, websites, text, videos, or audio files or import. I mean, this is actually what's the word? Innovating all the time. So there was the time where you could only do documents, but you can see now it's doing more and more. So basically, what it's done now, and let's have a look. So just to think, so you can see these three sections there. One says sources, then the chat, and then the studio. That's where the magic happens. But let's just, for the time being, let's just click on view here. So you can see here, it's give me all these sources. What I would do if I had more time and I wasn't doing a demo, I'd just kind of go through it and select the ones I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, it says here 10 sources selected. Let's import all 10. So basically it said to me, Kaz, I've gone away with the question that you had. I've found these 10 sources. Which ones do you want to use? I've said, let's bring it all on. So what it will do is it will give you a bit of an insight here. So you can see here it says psychological moonshots and the evolution of customer trust. Mm. Sorry, I'm just going to quick read of this. So these sources explore how behavioral science, randomness, and psychology redefine modern business and marketing. It's given slightly different wordings, but I'm okay with it so far. Authors like Nassim Taleb, so yeah, I've got his spelling wrong, but they've corrected it, and Rory Sutherland argue that success often stems from luck and irrational human behaviors rather than rigid data or logical strategy. The text warn against the quantification of bias and the dangers of relying solely on KPIs. So you can see why I'm interested in this, because obviously in marketing we rely on certain figures, but sometimes it's good to understand what makes humans human. So KPIs, suggesting instead that businesses should embrace uncertainty and operational transparency. Concepts such as the Lindy effect are used to explain why long established brands and ideas are more likely to endure. Uh, Ultimately, the collection advocates for building trust through communities and designing resilient models that account for the complexity of the digital age. So you can see here, I can do more things here. So I could maybe make a few notes, start typing, how do psychological moonshots? So I could kind of refine it, question it, and kind of get down to what I want to. But let's assume, just for the sake of this demo, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the sources. I'm happy with I suppose, the summary. Now let's make the magic happen. So I'm going to click on a few here. So audio overview. I'm going to make it keep simple. So see, now it's changing. Before it didn't give me all these options. So now it's saying, what format do you want it in? I like this. So deep dive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it brief just so it loads up quicker. And I'm not going to be too specific, but once again, I'm just doing it like a demo. So I'm just going to press generate. So it's working on that. I could create a slide deck. And once again, it's got beta here. Beta basically means it's a trial software almost, or they've updated it. It's not quite working perfectly, but they've kind of done it anyway. So we can create a slide deck. Go for it. There we go. Another question. Uh, Detailed deck, a comprehensive deck with full text and thingy, clean visuals and key talking points. Once again, I'm going to go keep it simple because I don't want it to take too long to load up. Next one, a video overview. Yeah, we'll have a video. I think it gives, so once again, it gives me the option here. Explain a video or a brief one. Let's go with them. I'm just going to keep everything brief just because I know it takes quite a while to load up sometimes. I want it, and you can see here, mind map, I'm not too bothered. A report, no. Flashcards, go on. So this time I've not clicked the arrow button here. So I've just whichever flashcards, and yeah, quiz, any quiz. Let's create a good infographic, yeah. And data table, that's fine. So we've asked it to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. While it's giving some thought into that, I'll just kind of re-explain what we've done. And this is the bit that's quite impressive, or is going to be impressive. So you can see what we've done here. We're using a software called NotebookLM from Google. And what we've done is we've said to it, we want you to use these sources. It gave us the option, and obviously in this case, I just said, we'll just have all the sources. But remember, the whole idea of this is that we pick the sources, we pick what it wants to do. So for example, I mean, Rory Sutherland's got a lot of videos out there. I could have maybe picked 5 Nassim Taleb videos from YouTube, 5 Rory Sutherland videos on YouTube, and just said use them as sources. And then it would have hopefully would have created something out of what we've said there. You can see here, just by that sign there, one of these is a podcast. So you can see it's not just PDFs. It's a selection of different types of resources, but it's selected those resources based on my initial question. So once it's got the resources, it then gives me an overview over here of what it's found. Let's say I was looking for something in particular. Maybe there was some sort of way that Nassim Taleb explains things, or maybe there was a certain concept that uh, of Nassim Taleb that Rory explains really well. I could have asked it for that, but as I mentioned, just for the process, I mean, just for the sake of this demo, I've just kept it quite simple, not going into too much detail, and just seeing what it comes up with. So sources, the chat gives me a brief overview, and then the studio. Well, as I mentioned, that's where the magic happens. So let's have a look at some of these, and we'll go from there. So the science. So here it says, which one? This first one is an infographic, is it? Yeah. Yeah, so you can see like the logo there relates to infographic. So the hidden sciences of success. Let's click on that one first. What's it come up with? Oh wow, okay. See, that doesn't look very AI, does it? Like sometimes you create the images on ChatGPT or Copilot, and it feels like it's been made by AI because it seems to have that smoky, busy background. I'm not too sure about the middle bit, but let's have a look. So it says beyond logic, the hidden science of success and survival, moving past flawed rational models by embracing randomness, behavioral psychology, and the Lindy effect. And they mentioned the Lindy effect in that write up. So you can see here, it's given us the rationality trap of what people do. Then it's given psychological moonshots and resilience. So it's kind of giving you a few ideas. So it's giving you a bit of an infographic. Well, it is an infographic of, and you can see there in the corner it says based on 10 sources. So it says the hidden. So I mean that's quite impressive, isn't it? And how long did it take? A few minutes, something like that. So that's that done. So the next one, behavioral flashcards. Let's have a look. Click on that. The contact in the content in the scene types. What is the survival? So I can even tick yes or no, which ones I like. And so once again, always innovating here. So it's what cognitive blah blah blah. So you can see there, these are different flashcards that is created. So you don't have to always use them, but and I suppose you can there good and bad content. So it's obviously a bit of like once again machine learning and deep learning going on there because it wants to learn what do I like, what I don't like. Um, there's a quiz, so I'll click on that. All right, okay, multiple choice quiz, and it gives me a bit of an answer on to. So it gives me a bit. What does the concept of anti-fragility, discussed by Nassim Taleb, describe in the system? So it gives you all these questions and the answers. So I'm gonna look at that. So that's good. And once again, can you see the short amount of time it's created that in? It's very impressive. Generating a video and generating a slide deck. Now, this is going to be one of those jaw-dropping moments. So this is a podcast, so let's just press that and let's see. So this one is only a minute 31. In the past, I've created ones that are much longer, but because I said brief, it's just been very brief. So let's have a look at this. Actually, this is not doing what I wanted to do. So let me go back to here, audio overview. Let's go for deep dive. I'll stick to that. And I'll go with short. There's something I want to show you that's quite impressive. So we'll come back to that. So let's have a look. So so at the moment it's creating these things. What we'll do is we'll come back to this after we've gone through some more of the slideshow. Just 1 second. So And I want to do this in real time because I really want to show you how quickly it loads up. I don't want to press pause and then say to you, "Oh, look what it came up with." I mean, it's really, it's. I want to show you in real time. So that was the live demo of NotebookLM. We'll come back to that shortly. So in terms of content styles, engaging content styles, what can you do? And I suppose I suppose, has always been the case, but what can you do to create content? I mean, you could do this using AI, but then you could also use it in what you would normally do anyway. So, engaging content styles, one of them is the trailer style one, which would be like a snippet from a TV show. I mean, how many times have you done that? Watched something on TikTok and thought, oh, I want to watch that now. Or maybe from a podcast, you've heard a snippet from a podcast and thought, oh, I'll go listen to the rest of that. Talking head, which is pretty much one person talking to a camera. Number three, prop or makeup tutorial. So, do you know they kind of have makeup tutorials and they're talking into the camera, or they're kind of sitting there with a cup of tea, drinking the tea and talking about it. And basically, they've got a prop with them, which is kind of part of what they're doing. Number four, show end result. I've seen these with cakes and things like that, where they show this beautiful cake. You think, wow, that's amazing. And in your mind, you're thinking, wow, how did they make that? And then they kind of go to the back to the start of mixing that, showing how the flour's mixed and stuff. But it's like that reveal. They show you the reveal. So you've almost already had the payoff from the video, and now you're just wanting to know how it works. Number five, the fly on the wall. So watching what's happening from an angle. So I've seen these look set up, but sometimes they'll have a camera in the corner over there, and they'll be in a restaurant having an argument with the waiter, or they'll be kind of having some sort of discussion, or they'll be doing something. So you're like fly on the wall, watching the angle. So you're not getting loads of different camera angles. You're just kind of almost like you're sneaking a look. Um, Stop in the street. I've seen that many times. Have you seen that? Where they stop someone in the street and say, "Wow, you've got a great car. What do you do for a living?" "Oh, you've got a great car. What? Give me three types of advice." "Oh, wow, you look great. What are you wearing?" And that leads me on to the event. So when someone's at an event, they'll stop them and say, "Oh, wow, you're dressed up for today. Where have you been shopping? Where did you buy it from?" And that kind of stuff. And I'm not talking red carpet, Hollywood A-list celebrities. I'm just talking about regular people attending regular sporting events or whatever it might be. Voiceovers, food reviews do this. A lot of food reviews, and you see they'll have pictures and videos, and they'll even show themselves in the video, but there's a voiceover that's kind of narrating the whole review. Green screen background, there's a pic in the background, so the person talks to the camera. So it'll be like, I'll be talking to you, and behind me, they'll have like a green screen. And for example, I did one where I was talking about the cost of veg in supermarkets and how it'd gone down to really cheap prices. So I'd have like a video of the supermarket in the background and the carrots and pictures and that kind of stuff. So I'd like almost do it like a green screen background. So it's a fake background. So I'd be doing it like this and I'd just add it to the background. And then you've got the in the corner, the real and the fake. So do you know when they kind of appear in the bottom left or right corner of the TikTok or Instagram reel video, and they'll say, "This behind me is what happens when people make coffee." You can see them looking through the coffee beans and this and that. And then the reason I say fake is because they've done more recent ones where someone's saying, "Look at this person doing the gardening here. They're using this particular tool." And they're not actually narrating or commenting on something, they're actually there. And then the person turns around to him and says, "Can you stop making videos and give me a hand?" And then they come out the corner and carry on. So that's I think that's like a bit of a trend where people are making that kind of stuff. So yeah, some great engaging content styles, and once again, how AI can be used in these and some new styles of doing things. AI website features were worth mention. So you can now build a website within minutes for those of you who have bought other parts of other modules, other module courses. So you can have a look through that. So there's different websites I mentioned there. Examples, Durables, Shopify, Framer, GoDaddy. GoDaddy is the one that I do the live demo with there, Replit. And once again, an evolving area, and it's changing on a regular basis. So what we're saying is that you just by the use of AI, you can then create content for your website. So you're not just creating on ChatGPT and copy and pasting it to your website. You're actually creating the whole website through AI. So you're still given a prompt, and like I say, there's that 18-step prompt list that I've given in the AI website creator. So yeah, please do check that out. If you've bought the whole, if you bought all 20 modules, that's great. You'll have access to that. If not, don't worry. You can still take these modules individually, but I just thought I'd mention it. So yeah, so AI website features, once again, AI is having a big role to play in that. So before, when we were impressed with ChatGPT creating parts of websites for us, or create this page or create that page, and then having the option of checking and copying, pasting and adjusting it and editing it to our taste. You don't need to do that now. You can do it all on one platform and do your editings right there and then. And literally, it can take you between 6 minutes to 36 minutes. And it's really impressive. It's great because for those of you who've got great ideas about what they want to do with new business ideas and things like that, you can finally get a chance to do them because thanks to AI, you can almost create them for nothing. And and the reason I say nothing is because a lot of them have this freemium model, so you don't get the cutting edge version of it. You may have to use their subdomain. So if you use something called ABC AI websites, you would call it cas.abcaiwebsites.com. So, like I say, they'd have that bit of advertising and yeah, I suppose that's what they get out of it. They still, but if you buy the premium version, you'll have to pay that monthly fee. But once you pay the monthly fee, you also then get access to the features that will allow you to make it, well, I suppose, make it more premium. So yeah, that's just something I thought was worth mentioning. So, what does AI mean for content? So, we've been through quite a lot of things already about how it's going to make a difference to content. One thing we need to remember is that when we talk about content, we talk about different forms of content. So, it could be website copy, it could be social media content, it could be videos, it could be anything. But we need to understand what should we be creating. So once again, even though we've got the use of AI, we still need to create something that the customer wants. So how it can help with research. So we know how AI can help with research. We've done that in other modules. How are people using generative AI? So have a think about that. Optimizing content so it can be found in AI. So how do you make your content be found in AI? Once again, we've done that update on the SEO section and the website section of of this of the of the other mod. Basically, we've done it on other modules. So sorry, I was in between thinking things there. But yeah, we've done these updates on other modules like website, like SEO, to tell you how much content is, well, how much traffic is coming through AI to your website now. AEO and GEO, answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization. What are people looking for on AI? So when people actually come to your website through AI, how did they find you? What were they looking for? See, all these different questions. And remember, we want to be how how to be the answer or be part of the conversation. So with AI, when you're creating content, you either need to be the answer to what they're looking for or be part of the conversation of the information they need to know or want to know. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll just give you a short brief overview of what AI, AEO and GEO is, and then we'll go back to seeing how Notebook LM has gone on. So AEO is answer engine optimization. It's basically being the answer. So do you know when you go to Google these days and you Google a question or you ask it something, at the top in the blue shaded area, it literally gives you the answer to what you're looking for. So you don't have to actually go to the website, it gives you the answer. How does Google work out what the answer is? And it uses what we call answer engine optimization. So they're looking for clear, concise, structured content and answering specific questions. Okay. And then GEO, this stands for Generative Engine Optimization. The aim here is to be part of the conversation. So you're not going to be that light blue area with the answer. You're going to be, so if I said to ChatGPT, when is spring and summer going to start, or how do the seasons work? When do we get a good summer or something like that? See, that's quite a lot of long conversation, and it's more content. It's not just a case of a single answer. So here you want to be part of the conversation. So if in the information that ChatGPT or an AI provider gives, how do you be part of that conversation? So generative engine optimization is being part of the sources that ChatGPT would use. So you've seen it with these where the sources are there, and basically, how can I put this? Usually you get the information and it does quote some sources, and you can click on the sources. So basically, generative engine optimization is use, well, basically finding out how you could be part of the sources. There is a need to be referenced and referred to. So you want to make sure that other people have mentioned you, and you are referred to. So Google's not going to quote you just because you've got it on your website. It wants to see some sort of paper trail. Requires you to be seen as an expert or an authority on the subject. So if I'm talking about marketing, it's going to be like, okay, who is Kaz? Oh, he's a chartered marketer. Oh, great, that's great. Oh, has he got any experience? Yeah, he's got decades worth of experience in marketing or whatever it might be. So you can see that's giving the authority. Where are you referenced? So where do these, if you're referenced, where are you referenced? Is it on some 500 backlinks that no one's ever used? Or is it on directories that people click on a regular basis? Is it on trusted websites that trust you to provide the right information? Are people quoting you on social media platforms? So it's thinking about things like that. So the aim is keep the content simple and make it easy to interpret. So remember, you're not trying to, like, I think in the past been talking about SEO, search engine optimization, which, as you know, is another module which form part of the 20 module real digital marketing course. The aim, people always used to want to rank on Google. So it was, even though we knew it was for customers, we'd almost try to see how Google wants things and make Google happy first. Where here, we're making it easy. Well, it says keep the content simple and make it easy to interpret. So here, I mean, maybe we are by the moment. Maybe we initially start using AI and ChatGPT a bit like Google, like, what is this or what is that? And after a while, you're going to be like, I don't need to do that. I can just have a conversation with it. So treat it like a person. So when I talk to ChatGPT, I'll just put voice record on, and whether it be 10 seconds or 10 minutes, I'll just keep harping on about what I want it to ask or what I want to find out, and giving nuances and examples of exactly what I mean. And so once again, because AI is finding it for humans, so maybe the idea is to keep the content simple and make it easy to find and interpret. Okay, so before I go back to the summary, before I go to the summary and finish off this session, let me just go back to the examples that we've done. So, yes, yes, there we go. So, let's have a look. So it's given a video tutorial here. So let's just click on this first. And this is a 2-minute video. I'm not going to play it all, but remember, I mean, if we can just go back to this. So this was me asking about Nassim Taleb and Rory Sutherland and about behavioral psychology and science. And I've asked it to create a video. So let's just see what it created.
It simply doesn't matter. We're all told to measure everything, right? But what if that obsession is actually hurting us? Thinker Nassim Taleb calls this naive optimization. And honestly, it's a huge trap for businesses today. And you've probably seen this in action, right? Chasing numbers that actually damage the real goal. So if spreadsheets are the problem, what's the solution? Well, it might just be psychology. And we're not talking about massive projects.
So I've just pressed the pause there. So you can see there, it's created a video. I mean, it's of a decent standard. You can see there the Notebook LM watermark I was talking to you about. But it's created a video. It's 2 minutes long. And you can even say if it's a good or bad video, but that's pretty impressive, isn't it? So it's created a video. Let's have a look what else it did. Let's have a look. The slide deck it's created. Let's have a look at the slide deck. All right. Wow, that's quite good. Let's have a look bigger. So yeah, you can. Well, I mean, that's quite good, isn't it? Doesn't. So this is once again focused in on the Lindy effect, but it told us it was going to do that, so it shouldn't come as a surprise. So you can see, wow, because I mean that's very impressive. I mean that looks really trendy. It doesn't feel like AI, does it? So you can see I'm quite impressed with that. It's good. I suppose it's a bit text heavy, you could say, but that's quite good. Right, and now this is the one I was hoping to show you. So this is now the deep dive version of the video. Oops, let me just open it up a little bit. It's gonna open it up now. So let's have a look here. So it's created why spreadsheets bankrupt companies, two hosts. So let me just play this for you and then we'll have a look. Well,
Imagine a business guaranteed they will sell your house.
I'll just make sure you can hear it. Okay, so let's just try that again. So
House in like exactly 100 days, or they just pay you 1,500 euros.
Right, and they aren't, using some secret new algorithm or anything.
Exactly. They haven't invented a faster way to sell. They just realized that curing your anxiety is actually worth way more than the real estate transaction itself.
It really is.
So welcome to this custom deep dive. Today we're taking you through a stack of behavioral economics research polling from Nassim Taleb, Rory Sutherland,
you can see that they've mentioned Nassim Taleb, they've mentioned Rory Sutherland. Now this is the bit that's going to blow your mind.
and some recent market trust data. Our mission here is to figure out why business... Oh, hey there, how can we help?
Hey there, I just wanted to ask, how would you compare Nassim Taleb and Rory Sutherland? You mentioned them both, but how would you compare them?
That is a fantastic question.
We love that you asked that, actually.
Because they're both pillars in this space, but they approach the topic of irrationality from totally different angles.
Absolutely. Think of it this way. Nassim Taleb is the brilliant...
Can you see what we've just done there? We have just created a podcast within probably about, what, 5 or 10 minutes? We've then listened to that podcast. We've then interrupted that podcast with a question. And now it's answering that question all in real time. I mean, that's just unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it's just, yeah, I just can't. I mean, the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, that was like jaw-dropping moment. So you can see now how far we've come as technology. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to show you Notebook LM. So you can see there what we've done. We've used we've used Notebook LM. We've asked it the question. It's selected the sources. We've approved the sources. It's given us a brief overview, and we've just created content. I mean, and I've done that in real time in front of you. I think before my volume wasn't working, so you may not have heard the video. Oops, let me just X there. Let me just go back. I mean, I could create another video if I wanted, but just go in there. So if I just clicked on there, press play. But before, I think you saw the visuals, but you didn't hear it. So here's so you can hear it.
Let's challenge a core business belief that if you can't measure it, it simply doesn't matter. We're all told to measure everything, right? But what if that obsession is actually hurting us?
So you can see the
Massive 50% jump in.
So you can see the videos there, the audio's there. I mean, it is really impressive. So yeah, have a play around on that, bit of a play around on that. It really is quite impressive what you can do with it. And you can see it's created a video, the podcast, the presentation, which was very impressive, I should say. The hidden sources of science, flashcards, the quiz. I mean, it's scary, isn't it? It's scary good. I think that's the word I'd use, or the words I would use. So that's what we've got. So now going back to, I suppose, summarizing this whole thing.